Using real gold as currency, is this something that we might ever see again? Very fortunate to have some of these Utah Goldbacks here to have a good close look at. And we'll have a chat as well about their practicality as currency, as real things that you can use in the shops. Are they just a fad, or are they the future of gold in our modern world? Everybody, Backyard Bullion here, and a very warm welcome to you all joining me for this week's edition of In Focus Friday, the show where we take a good close look at cool things made of silver and gold. And this week we have some exceptionally cool things with microscopic amounts of gold in them in the form of these Utah Goldbacks. Courtesy of James D over on the Silver Forum. I was dropping some poured silver off to him the other day, and I could not keep my eyes off his Goldback collection, and he very generously allowed me to take them home to film with. So give James some love down in the comment section by giving him a shout out. A big thank you to him once again. Now, these are things I've wanted to talk about for a while, but I've been hesitant to pick any up because over here in the United Kingdom they're at an even higher premium than they are if you buy them in the US. They do represent an exceptionally high premium piece of fractional gold, but they actually transcend that idea of just buying some fractional gold because they have this whole premise of their physical practical use in modern world, in business. You can go down to the shops and potentially use this in certain states as currency. The whole point of the Goldback movement is that in the US there are various states which have made gold legal tender, and this is a way to have fractional gold used in shops. So how practical are they, though? That's the question that I really have. I'll share some of my thoughts and opinions on the practicality of them. We're going to also talk about the manufacturing process because, let's be quite frank, regardless of what you feel about their premium and their potential for use in shops, they are bloody gorgeous. They are absolutely wonderful. And I know that a lot of people collect these just simply for the way that they look, and they're not overly expensive for just collecting a few of the different denominations. As an investment, though, I do have my questions, which we'll talk about as we go throughout the video. Quick reminder to hit that thumbs up button if you are enjoying what we're talking about here today, and if you are enjoying this video, there's a good chance you'll enjoy some of the other videos we'll make, so if you're not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button. So let's talk about how these are made first. So there are, of course, different denominations. We only have got the 1 and the 5 Goldbacks here. So this is a 5 Goldback note, as you can see. Voluntary local currency. That's an interesting phrase. We'll talk about that in a moment. But in terms of the production and the manufacturing of these, it's important to understand that these are made by a private company. They are not issued by the state of Utah or the different, I think there's like Nevada, New Hampshire. There's loads of different states now that have adopted this principle of gold being used as a legal tender currency. And that stems from the US Constitution, which allows pretty much only the federal US dollar and gold or silver to be currency. No other currency is allowed to be used to settle debts. So this definitely spans from that, and they are made of polymer. So basically what you get is you get a plastic note, and then these, I'm reading on the Goldback website, are bombarded with the appropriate amount of gold atoms, and then those atoms are sealed onto the note, and it creates this wonderful looking, it's an incredibly thin layer of gold. You're talking about a 200th of a troy ounce of gold here. So this is 0.15 of a gram. That's an awfully small amount of gold. However, even at 0.15 of a gram of gold, because gold is so expensive at the moment, at $60 odd per gram, you still got about $9.50 worth of gold in this one banknote. So you can see, because of just the sheer size of this being 1/200th, and it's still being worth close to $10 in real gold, that you have here a practical problem for gold. I've talked many times at length about how gold is something that, for example, this big 1.2 ounce gold pesos coin here, wonderful as an investment, wonderful way to preserve your wealth, but a completely useless and impractical way to go down to the shops and buy anything. You're taking this down, it's going to be worth $2,500 probably, or more by the time it gets to the point where you need to go down to the shops and actually use your gold. So there are a whole host of different practical issues which are going around gold coins. So these gold notes do represent a really good way of being able to use that fractional stuff. However, with all fractional gold that's out there, this stuff included, you get high premiums. And that's the thing I think that really stands out for me as a barrier to these items in bulk anyway. As I said, there's a lot of people who will enjoy this stuff as collector items and perhaps, like James, have a nice display cabinet of them. But ultimately, they are expensive in terms of their price for the gold. Now, of course, the manufacturing process is not cheap, and that's perfectly fine. And there are various different pieces of gold out there which are way more expensive than these are relative to their spot price. But ultimately, they are about 3 times the value of gold to manufacture and buy. So, if you want to go buy these from dealers right now, they're about $4.50, something like that. Some are a little lower, maybe around about $4.30. Depending on bulk, you might be able to get a few better prices. But that's still quite a lot more than the $1.80 that I've calculated that is worth in these single Goldbacks. Now, of course, the higher denomination Goldbacks will have slightly better premiums, but ultimately it's about the practicality of this as an investment, not really. And I kind of see it almost as a little bit of a fad right now rather than an actual proper currency solution. So when you look at the practicalities of using these in the real world, that's where I think the argument kind of falls down right now. Not to say that will not happen in the future. I do think that there will be a move at some point in the future to more knowledge and awareness of things like this, of gold like this, that you could use in a real world scenario. But let's be quite brutally honest, even right now in this modern world, there are probably not going to be too many shops that will take these on a regular basis. Reading on the Goldback website that it says 25 to 50% of businesses in the local areas that these are, so Utah essentially, these Utah Goldbacks would be, will accept these. It's not something that is compulsory. Whilst the law is stating there that it can be used as currency, it does say voluntary local currency on here. And it'd be very interesting to know if anybody's had experience of actually trying to pay for things with Goldbacks and whether or not they've actually been successful, or whether businesses have just gone, do you know what? No, I'm sorry, it needs to be fiat currency right now. It needs to be dollars, please. That would be my only sort of hesitant feeling on these right now, that their practicality is really not that great. But I could be wrong, so let me know your thoughts if you've had experiences of using these in the real world down below. But they are certainly something that is beautiful, something that is very attractive to look at, and that's part of their selling point for me. If I was to actually collect them, I would collect them as a collection right now. You can see that these are in sort of pristine, perfect condition. You can only imagine what they might look like after a couple of years worth of trouncing around in people's wallets, out and about. And that's something I really want to kind of talk about here, the practicality of physical money. This is a wonderful idea and a wonderful movement, and they are beautiful pieces, but the practicality of physical currency is now something that is not really something that's going to be used. There you go, privately issued, not US dollar legal tender, US international patents pending. So you can see that there are limitations on these as to their practicalities. But the practicality is based in the real world, and we live in a very different world right now than we used to before, even a year ago. The practicalities of using physical banknotes, of using physical things to go down to the shops and pay for stuff, is rapidly disappearing. I saw a notice the other day that the US Mint was considering removing pennies from circulation or stop making them. I don't know. Literally just saw it flash up on Instagram. It could be fake news. I don't know. But the point is that there has been talk about eradicating pennies from the US, eradicating the penny piece from the UK. And I think the Eurozone has already removed the 1 euro cent coin. So money will go. Physical cash will one day not be a thing that we use anymore. It's still, in this world that we live in, something that a lot of people depend on, but in this ever-growing world of digital currencies and just using of a debit card to pay things wirelessly for transaction, you don't even put chip and pin in anymore. The rates have gone up of the limits you can go and pay for things in contactless have gone up and up and up. And I can't remember the last time I actually used my chip and pin to pay for something, or even cash for that matter. It's just literally wave your card, wave a piece of plastic over a machine, and it debits your account. And that, I think, is the way forward for the future. It's obviously a lot more secure in terms of not carrying around a bunch of cash in your pocket. It's really, really secure in terms of consumer protection as well, and that's something a lot of people forget. So for me, I think that this is a great idea, great movement going forward, but it's only going to suit a very unique set of circumstances in the world where we are going to see struggling currencies around the world, but we're not going to see complete collapses of currencies. We're not going to see the complete collapse of the dollar and people having to use gold as a means to buy things in the shops. And I think even if we did, it probably wouldn't take the form of these kind of banknotes. I feel like, if anything, silver would be the king of all of the stuff in the shops, and these would just be a little bit of a fad, something a little bit different. Now, I don't mean this in any kind of besmirching way to the company that makes them, because we've all got to agree that these are absolutely stunning and beautiful pieces that have been made with some significant amount of exceptional technology and glorious design. So all in all, I think these are wonderful things. If you want to buy them, they are, of course, not vastly expensive. You can go and buy this, like this whole set here. You're looking at maybe $4 for each of these ones, and about maybe 17, 18 for the 5. So you're looking at perhaps something like $50 to get what I've got on the table here. And that looks beautiful. It certainly is. And as a collector's item, they are holding good value. Yes, they've got premiums over their price of gold, but let's be quite frank, you're not going to take these into a gold shop and get your weight in gold in value for them. I don't think that's something that's anybody would ever consider doing. And let's be quite frank as well, they're too good and too beautiful to do that. I would much rather cash in some of my other gold or silver before I cashed in some things like this. So as collector's items, as nice things to have, they are right up there, 10 out of 10. As I said, when I saw them in James's house, I just absolutely, fell in love with them. I was like, I can't stop looking at your Goldbacks. Can I take them? Can I have them? And he was very generous to allow me to do that. So give him a shout out once again if you have not done so already down in the comment section. Let me know as well any experiences that you've got with these Goldbacks, good or bad, positive or negative. It'd be really interesting to hear if anybody's got some real world examples of their use. Let me know if you've got some of the other denominations as well. I think that the denominations go up to 50 Goldbacks, I believe. Yes, I'm looking on here, 50 Goldbacks, which would be 1/20th of an ounce of gold. So that's an interesting one. So a 20th of an ounce of gold is pretty much in the same realm as some of the very smallest coins that I've seen out there. I have seen some 40th ounce gold coins as well, which I believe is one of the denominations. Yes, the 25 Goldbacks is a 40th of an ounce. So there's a whole bunch of different ranges and sizes, and of course different states to collect now as well, which I think is a pretty cool thing. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Otherwise, have a fantastic weekend ahead. We'll see you on the next video. And as always, please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.